Hello, Beet fans. What's Beating Dan was one of the ones I saw in there. Promised myself I wouldn't bring that one up. Thanks for all of your awesome comments on the beet video. I had a lot of fun with that one. Beets are a crazy vegetable. A lot of good questions, a lot of good people calling me out on stuff. So we're going to cover all of that. Let's get into it. First up, a good question from JCoolShocker1 said, what goes into the pickling liquid? And so the pickling liquid, that's actually just a brine. So it's just salt and water. And then there's a bag on top that also has salt and water in it. And that keeps everything submerged. And it's got brine in it, so then in case it leaks, it's just leaking more brine into it. So it's just salt and water, and it actually just creates a hospitable environment for good bacteria. And so you actually get lactic acid fermentation going on, and you get really delicious sour flavor from that. So there's no vinegar or anything like that. It's just salt and water. Super simple recipe that you can then use in lots of different ways. That being said, I think I was a little confusing in the video about the panna cotta. The panna cotta does not use the pickling liquid from the beets. So some of the other recipes that I mentioned do in terms of that granita, but the actual panna cotta, that's just more juiced beets. So and some of that pulp goes into that awesome brittle. So that's the deal with that. It doesn't have the salty pickling beet kvass in the panna cotta. But they're both awesome recipes, and you should make both of them. So that clears up some of that. All right, next one comes from Schmitty. Schmitty said, can you make a video about the 7 major sauces taught in culinary school? Schmitty, that would be a big video, but it gives me some really good fodder for understanding what you guys are looking for. So sauces, I haven't done a ton of sauces in different episodes other than like maybe hot sauce, cheese sauce, got into a little bit there, but I could definitely dig into some classic sauces. So I'll put that one on the list of things to get to. Thanks, Schmitty. Next up, this is a really good catch. I was wondering if anyone was going to get that. This is NCootie1 said at 5:12, that doesn't look like arugula to me. And you're right, it is not arugula. So we shoot 2 separate days where I'm in my office talking, and then we shoot the actual kitchen stuff. And then it gets put together in the awesome format that you get to see. And we didn't end up with, because of miscommunication on my part, we did not end up with baby arugula, so we went with Upland cress. That's what is in the video there. And you know what? It made a great salad. So arugula or Upland cress both work great in that salad. But it's a good catch. You guys are paying attention. Next one up, Dem1 said, Dan is such a dork. Fair point. And we got another one here from Jade Lee says, can you please do an episode on eggs? And so I have done an episode on egg yolks. I decided that eggs were just far too big in and of themselves to do one episode. So I've done a yolk episode that's in last season, which a yolk one, which is really, really cool. Some crazy techniques in there. And then I've got egg whites on the list. So stay tuned for that. And then if you watch them back to back, you've got your egg episode, kind of all in one. This question came up a number of times, but this one comes from Frank Webster. Says, Dan, I love your series. How do you remove beet stains? The reason I avoid fresh beets is because the staining is so difficult. So I talk about wearing gloves a lot in the video, and if you have them, that's obviously a great way to kind of prevent it. We do have a technique where if you're a cutting board, a wooden cutting board that has some good texture to it, you do a light spray of cooking spray on it before you cut beets, and that will actually help the stain from getting into the wood. I wouldn't really recommend it on plastic boards because A, they're really easy to wash and you can usually throw them in the dishwasher, that sort of thing, and it can be a little too slick with that oil and the beets and the plastic, but if you got a grippy kind of wooden board, it can work. All that said, if you get beet stains on your fingers, on your hands, that kind of stuff, and it's really hard to wash off, which it is, the only thing we've had some pretty good luck with is actually really weird ingredient, and it's whitening toothpaste, especially the stuff that has some hydrogen peroxide in it. That can actually do a decent job of removing beet stains from your fingers. So just get some toothpaste on there and rub that around. So then the last thing I really want to dig into, because it came up over and over again, and I think I just owe the world an apology on this one, is Borscht. Everyone wanted a Borscht recipe, and I think it's my fault. I haven't had great Borscht experiences in my life, and I've really always been into beet salads, and I went kind of out there. So I think I just got to return at some point with an entire Borscht episode, and kind of just make it right for you guys again, because you're there for me. You're always asking great questions, and I appreciate it. So that's all I got time for today, but we're coming back with a lot more videos in season 3. So thank you again for all of your comments. Really, really appreciate it, and keep watching. All right, I'll see you soon.